for 3 whole days. Yes, 3 whole days this Chinese balloon has been off course. Heard a couple of different things. Okay, people are saying that it's either a spy balloon, a weather balloon. Regardless, it's a piece of trash from a foreign country that has absolutely no jurisdiction over the United States of America. Why was it allowed to fly clear across the country? It had nothing to do with safety. Oh, we can't shoot it down. It might land on somebody. You first noticed that, apparently, even though we're going to fact check all of this stuff here, and that didn't end up being the case. But, hey, man, let's just cast our minds back a couple of days. It's right over Montana. You understand there is a high likelihood that that will only land on trees. There's absolutely no reason that it should have been allowed to fly clear across the country. It's equivalent to if you got some rowdy kids that are in your neighborhood and they just decide that they're going to play in your front yard and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, they're just kids. Kids are just going to play there. Don't worry about it, okay? Or if you have a girlfriend, okay? She wants to go on a girls' trip, and you just tell her, absolutely not. What, are you, insecure? Oh, you got small dick energy? No, I have incredible boundaries that I like to enforce, and feel free. Hey, guys, if you want to fly a balloon over the country, you want to go on that girls' trip, you want to go spend a weekend in Las Vegas, that's fine. But understand, I have standards, I have rules, I have boundaries, and that balloon is not going to be flying over my country, not in my airspace. Those kids not going to be playing in my front yard. My girlfriend is not going to be going on a weekend out. She is not going to be going with her single hoe friends on a girls' trip. That's the type of tone and tenor the United States used to have, but now, who cares? Who cares at all? And realistically, for anybody who thinks it's like, has it been confirmed that it's an actual spy balloon? Like, that doesn't really, hold any water for me, given the fact that we all have these. We all have these little black rectangles where China can get everything down to the consistency and color of our morning constitutional and access our deepest, darkest desires at the touch of a button. What would be the point of flying some 1960s technology over the top of the country? They can see everything that they want. So to say that it's a spy balloon, if you got any sort of information to back that up, I'm all ears, but it's all gone right now. It's apparently making its way and it'll be crashing into the Atlantic Ocean because couldn't do that beforehand. Listen, it was flying. We got the trajectory of it, what it was supposed to do and what it ended up doing. Okay, so number 2 was the path that it was supposed to go. So it was supposed to fly over Central American countries down there and somehow land in Brazil for some form or fashion, whatever. That's the way that it was supposed to go. But then it ended up going off course over Alaska. Hey, did it fly over? Because if that's the trajectory that it went right over where I live, and Trudeau didn't hear word one about what that little festering pustule had to say about this. He was probably totally fine with it because, well, we know about the connections between Canada and China. Maybe they were just dropping off some more recruits to train at our military bases, but theoretically, if that's the actual trajectory that it went on, I could have went outside and waved at it. Anyways, it went right over a couple of nuclear bases, and then it just skirted off into the Atlantic Ocean. It went over some of the most vacant states, like Montana, huge, more trees than people. South Dakota could have clipped it there. Nebraska, but you got Missouri. All of those places, man, not exactly the most populous places. It could have landed in Kansas. Like, come on, man. Come on. Now you're just saying, oh, it would have been a threat. That's why we had to wait so long to shoot it down. Okay. Chinese surveillance balloon drifting east towards the Atlantic Ocean has been shot down by U.S. military and is now falling into the sea, video shows. Television footage showed the balloon deflating before dropping toward the water at 2:40 p.m. U.S. military jets were visible flying in the vicinity, and ships were deployed in the water preparing for recovery operation, or to just shoot it some more, because that would have been the old school American way, but now probably collecting it so that you could pay for the postage to send it back to Beijing. The shoot down came after President Biden earlier on Saturday broke the silence on the balloon. Yeah, they hadn't opined on this at all whatsoever. It's kind of like Tim Pool with Eliza Blue, both full of equal parts hot air, telling reporters that we're going to take care of it, man. Well, somebody's going to. In a statement that shortly followed, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said Biden gave the go-ahead on Wednesday. Saturday. Okay, to take down the surveillance balloon as soon as the mission could be accomplished without undue risk to American lives under the balloon's path. Fucking balloon, for Christ's sakes. Jesus. He had added that the balloon was being used by Beijing in an attempt to surveil strategic sites in the continental United States. If you wanted to spy on the U.S., literally, Google is one call away. And if that was its confirmed purpose, that's a breach of your borders. We understand that you don't care about American borders all that much. Maybe you just needed, I don't know, maybe one of these balloons to fly overhead so that you had some sort of justification to defend your borders because, you know, you don't like to stand up for American rights and liberties. So I can understand, but okay, so he gave the go-ahead on Wednesday. Undue risk to American lives, all that stuff. Well, that's not exactly 100% true. Biden's new Chinese spy balloon was in U.S. airspace for nearly a week, but kept it secret, fearing Blinken's planned, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, planned meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing would be derailed. Cucked by the Chi-coms. 2 years. 2 years into this stuff, and this is where we're at. Oh my lord. Just imagine this country in a couple more years' time. Throw on the big distraction of the election cycle here in about 5-6 months, and yo man, we're in tough stuff. Republicans are expressing outrage that the Biden administration's lack of transparency with the American public. What? No, it's not like they're totally known for that. Over the Chinese surveillance balloon has been hovering over the United States for days. The existence of the inflatable drone was first confirmed on Thursday, when it was reported by the Billings Gazette after it was spotted over Montana, home to one of the U.S. military's 3 nuclear missile silos. Just coincidental. A subsequent report from Bloomberg found that the president was made aware of the balloon, its dangerous threats, days earlier on January 28th. January 28th, and he said that he gave the go-ahead on the 1st. The decision to keep the story quiet, as officials were worried the hysteria caused the balloon, would derail Secretary of State Antony Blinken's upcoming meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hey, you guys flew this thing. The first thing that I heard about it is, oh yeah, it was just, it was a weather balloon that flew off course, dangerously off course. So if that was the case, doesn't matter. It's over where I live. I take care of those things. That should have been the tone and tenor. But it wasn't. Oh, he's going to be meet with Xi and get rid of one of his expensive drones would be very, very detrimental. So we'll just let it go all the way across the country before we deal with it. Heaven forbid you'd shoot it down over a place, and it's not like that thing's just going to drop at the speed of sound. If you're worried about undue risk to American lives, which not exactly this administration's strong suit, you could have collected it midair. It would have been difficult, it would have been tough, but you could have done it. Or shoot it down over an area that's just, big and empty. It went over, well, would have gone over a national park of some form or fashion if you were actually concerned about the safety of the American people as the commander-in-chief. That's normally to protect yourselves and to protect the country from domestic and foreign threats. But no. Tell us more about January 6th and how that was so terrible. But everybody's laughing at us, bro. Everybody is laughing. Because here you have a government Chinese official, Zhang Mifang. Perhaps China was simply giving the U.S. a balloon, much like the one we would give a child to make them feel better. They are absolutely laughing at you. They were dunking on you, man. But that's all right. That's all right. The adults are back in the room, right? With the Biden administration. Hell, Trump, oh, he's just a puppet of tyrants, right? Here you got the big homie telling you exactly what should have been done the moment that shit was discovered. I don't give a hell if your buddy was going to be down there later in the week. You know what you do if you're meeting with them in a couple of weeks' time? You shoot down the balloon, you collect all the scraps, and then you bring it to them. Because when you're dealing with actual tyrants instead of Putin's literally Hitler, when you're dealing with life-appointed Chinese dictators, real recognizes real, strength recognizes strength. And nah, man, you just got punked on a global scale. Everybody's laughing at you. And it's even worse. It's like, oh, you guys got played by a balloon? Holy. And you guys are supposed to be the vanguard of the free world? Yeah, I don't think so. Somebody actually wants to try the United States. They just got the blueprint right there. Just play nice. You can accomplish everything that you want. All I gotta say is, oh man, it's just a couple more years to get through this nonsense, and there'll be something even worse that'll be on the horizon. You'll look even dumber afterwards, and the administration will come up with something. Or they'll just have a different spokesperson come out who checks the requisite amount of boxes so that you can't criticize him. Right now they got gay black lady, and guess what? By Monday, yeah, she won't be fielding any questions in regards to this. So don't ask for any sort of conclusion to this. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.